About the best part of this entire album at all is these riffs. And that's not saying much. Weezer, Pacific Daydream. Damn it, Weezer. Damn it, Weezer. I'll explain even more why this bothers me. I mean, it's not extremely bad. But it just doesn't offer a whole lot, this album. I'm trying to keep the review part of this video short, because I got something else I need to say. Because right now, Mex Defender was actually one of the few tracks on the album that, to a certain degree, made me think, okay, maybe there's a chance, and then the fucking chorus hits, and you're like, oh god. Oh my fuck, no, stop. I thought you learned how to not do falsetto. Jesus, Weezer. Jesus, Rivers. Well, the follow-up track, Beach Boys, for the most part, is kind of ironic, given the last album was pretty well Beach Boys inspired. But, yeah, for the most part, they're kind of going back to the rap crap, and it's like, you're not meant to do that shit. I mean, it works. It only worked for a little bit in places, but like with certain albums. But here, not so much. Feels like Summer. I guess lyrically, it's more of a highlight. I guess, but it doesn't sound wise. It just contrasts from it. So. And for the most part, a lot of the songs that they had pretty well been promoting up until this album was released was pretty well the first half of this album. So I was pretty well kind of not knowing what the hell to do with the later half. And some songs in the later half are okay. Friend of Diane's is fine, I guess. I mean, I just really don't have anything to go off of here, other than the fact that all I can tell you is that this album is not a Ratitude level of bad, or necessarily boring in the sense of make-believe, but I would rather listen to Red Album and Hurley over this record. Hell, anything else Weezer has put out, I would rather listen to. Almost comes this close to kind of ruining the comeback album they've made and making it feel like a big fat white lie. Almost making it more ironic that they just chose white as the color of their last album. It's a mixed bag right now. It's kind of a mixed bag, but mostly it's really more of a thumbs down, guys. Don't expect me to put this album on even in a best of the year list. Kind of disappoints me. If you want to hear better, obviously the past couple albums, White Album, U-Bait, or Everything Will Be Alright in the End, and God, I wish after hearing this, I wanted to feel like everything was going to be alright in the end after what I had to go through. And before I get to that, tell me what you guys think in the comments section below. And before I leave off, I have to address something to some of you. In case you were wondering whether or not any of you cared, why Rita has not been in any of my reviews lately isn't so, well, as far as within recent weeks, mostly, and why, and for those of you, I wish she was here to review it with me, too, because we both liked Weezer, and that's kind of the reason why I have to mention, apparently we dealt with a breakup, and, it sucks a lot more for me because, you know, she really was kind of a total package for me for the most part. To the point where any other woman, good luck getting this guy, because you got a lot you've got a lot to live up to, and Yeah. Oh, this album had a lot to live up to for me. Even though I wasn't expecting much out of it. And I guess for the most part I was surprised that it wasn't complete crap, but I still know that there was better. I've heard better from Weezer. And had far more fun with Weezer, and this album didn't really do that. It was different, but it felt... I'll give Weezer credit. It's better. It's at least better than what Switchfoot did with Fading West. Because that one just pissed me off because they were doing so well for 8 albums straight, even when they were playing it safe. But this, at least we know Weezer's had worse to go off of to make this seem like a better album. But anyway, overall, guys, with Rita, yeah, we had to break up, but the thing is, it was over something stupid, but here's the funny thing, she almost did 3 weeks prior to that. This has actually been 3 weeks ago, though, and I'm still reeling from it because we had been together for more than a year, which, for me, is actually says something. I never really thought I deserved anything. In fact, I called the big guy's bluff, and he dropped her, like, all she had to do was like the Captain America shirt I had. It wasn't even the hat. Figure that. Whatever. And I just talked to her about X-Men and all that, and she fell for me before I did for her, and then all of a sudden I fell harder for her than she thought she fell for me or something, and I had someone I could watch movies with, talk mostly about music with, though not so much country, though I don't blame her, because most modern mainstream country is shit. Despite what my parents are just too easily swayed by that crap, and it bugs me to death. I respect the earlier stuff in the 80s and 90s at least, and prior to that. But anything since the dawn of the 21st century has been crap when it comes to country. But I miss her. I love her. I want her back. And if I can't, I'd have to have something better, but I don't want to wait another 5 years to find out. Or 10. Because personally, I don't want to wind up being... I was willing to say... Hell, I just waited a year or so, and I never did anything with her. As in, like... how do I put this without, causing issues? I never did anything with her. She wanted to wait till marriage. Hard to find another Catholic girl who's into nerdy stuff that kind of has more you can easily compare to being somewhat one of the guys without necessarily being a guy. Like knowing that she's a woman and likes to do some woman things too. And I'm like, cool, but doesn't really respect romantic comedies as much as she likes the more comic book stuff and, action movies. Yeah. And actually get excited and not squeamish about bloody, gory action scenes in R-rated R movies. Like, yeah. Yeah, and now you all are like, what the fuck you do to screw this up? Just mentioned something about her dealing with her one issue that most women apparently deal with, and she apparently wanted to keep, and she just no longer could trust me after some other issue I had dealt with before that honestly would have made more sense if she broke up with me then, as opposed to now. The funny thing is, everything should some logical things here tell me that I shouldn't take her back, but there are so many things about her, logically, that make me realize I have to have her back. I don't know what to do. I just had to have this rant. I needed to say something. And You know, that's part of the reason why you haven't probably seen her in a while. Plus, it's mostly because I was kind of alienated from certain films that were claiming not to be as good as I would have liked. But then I had a buddy finally tell me I should probably see this movie after all. And it sucks because I got her to see the first film and all this other shit. And that was the Kingsman film. And I would have liked to... And at some point I'd like to talk about that. In fact, there's another film I will talk about, but that's not the Kingsman film. But yeah, overall right now, I just got to focus on my band. And that's what I've also been doing a lot of. And then some usual fall things I usually kind of wind up trying to keep up with and watching and all that stuff. It's hard to, you know, focus on doing this since mostly it's just a passion project at this point. And yeah, once again, guys, anything comforting, I guess, to just help me get through and just, you know, maybe move forward, even though I think she apparently wants me to because she gave me back Amp Thursday and I didn't want it back because if I got it back, it meant I may not see her again. If I'm lucky, I can... Hell, she was a masseuse too! I don't know what I could have done that screwed up so bad that was worthy of having to feel my soul crushed. Hell, she was perfect in all ways. If you can get this, and some other particular thing, feeling happy, you go for that trifecta, you're it. You're it. And that's what she was for me. I'm not bawling my eyes out anymore. I'm not freaking out about it as much. But it still bothers me that just over something that it took that little thing to just want to have us break us up and just think that you can't trust me. After what I've done for her, with her dealing with her traumatic brain injury she had from when she was in a car accident when she was 16, to having, on top of her now having to deal with this diet of not just gluten-free, but soy-free, egg-free, dairy-free, just basically not being able to eat much of anything unless you find a way. Yet she's lucky enough to find places where she can do that up in where she lives, but not down here, which makes it harder for her to come down here and visit. And she thinks I don't understand, and it's like, maybe not to a degree. I mean, maybe there's things I should have done, all this other stuff, and it's just, it's hard for me to wrap around, and yes, it's eating away at me, and it's making it harder for me to really feel passionate about things. And I think that's where I think things started to show up, and plus I was really looking and desperate to find music to do so, and anything at this point. And it's a shame because I really had so many other things, especially for this channel, involving her that I would have liked to have planned and just never went that way. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to hear this rant, and there really wasn't much for me to talk about this, so I had to have something to talk about to make up a little more time for this video. And I'm sorry if I have wasted your time with this, but once again, comment below, let me know what you think of Pacific Daydream and all sorts of other things. So always, just keep it random, keep it real, keep it rocking. I'll see you in the next video, and if I'm lucky, I might... Rita, I want you back. I hope you see this. I know there's not much of an excuse. I do whatever. But at the same time, if you do take me back, know this. Be more worried about breaking my heart and not so much just yours. It's a two-way street. I know this was I was your first person to have ever dated, but I've never had one that was this serious. So, yeah. Take care, y'all.